All right, so this section is about metric prefixes, dimensional analysis in one direction. Okay, so you will be able to complete your note taking uh, papers with this section. All right, so in scientific measurement, length is the distance between 2 points. And when we are using the metric system, we will use the meter as the unit. Okay, we use the meter as the unit of measurement. And so the metric system, right, is a system that is based on the number 10, right? It is based on the number 10. So if you look at your ruler, you realize that each time you have multiples of 10, they are usually written in bold. And that is done for a reason because the metric system is a system based on the number 10. All right. So there are other units, right? There are other subunits and higher units of the meter. The meter is considered a base unit, and you have other units like the decimeter and the centimeter that are smaller unit compared to the meter. Like the decimeter, for example, is zero point 0.1 of a meter, right? And the centimeter is 0.01 of the meter, right? You have another smaller unit, which is a millimeter, right? It is 0.001 of the meter, or you can say that 1 meter is equal to 1000 millimeter, or you can say 1 meter is equal to 100 centimeter, or 1 meter is equal to 1 decimeter, right? So remember, you have a base unit, which is a meter, and you have smaller unit compared to the meter, like the decimeter, the centimeter, and the millimeter. If you see what they have in common, they all have this I ending, like decimeter, centimeter, millimeter, right? Now you have other units that are bigger than the meter, right? Like the decameter, abbreviated as dam, right? So 1 dam is equal to 10 meters. And you have another one, which is a hectameter. The hectameter, which is 1 hectameter, is equal to 100 meter, or is equal to 1 decameter. Now, one thing I want you to see is that these units become bigger and bigger, right? Like the kilometer, right, is a bigger unit than the meter. And all these prefixes, they have a meaning. Like the kilometer, kilo means 1000. So each time you see kilo attached to anything, it means 1000 of that thing, right? So 1 kilometer means 1000 meter, right? And so 1 kilometer is equal to 10 hectameter is equal to 1000 meters. Now, if you look at this chart, right? Let's say you want to convert from decameter to meter, right? Now you are living from a bigger unit, right, to a smaller unit. So now, if I live from one box to the next box next to it, I multiply by 10, right? So from decameter to meter, I multiply by 10. From meter to decimeter, I multiply by 10. From decimeter to centimeter, I multiply by 10. And from centimeter to millimeter, I multiply by 10. So if you count the number of tens, you see this is a 10 here, 10, 10, 10, 4 tens. So that makes 10,000. What that means is that the conversion factor will be 1 decameter is equal to 10,000 millimeter. So each box represents what? It represents a 10. And so when you're moving in this direction, know you are going to multiply. So leaving from a bigger unit to a smaller unit, the number you expect that number to be very, very large. But if you are converting from a smaller unit, like the millimeter, to a bigger unit, like the decameter, you expect to have a small number or a smaller number compared to what you started with because you're going to be dividing. Okay. So these are the units, okay? kilo, hectare, deca are bigger than the base unit meter, and then deci, centi, and milli are smaller than the base unit. Okay. So these prefixes are all metric measurement. Whether it's length, whether it's volume, whether it's mass, they are all metric measurements, right? So we can change the base unit with meter, we can change it to liter, we can change it to gram. The notion remains the same, right? Whether it's 1 kilogram, it means 1,000 grams. Whereas 1 kiloliter, it means 1,000 liter. So all those prefixes, they have a meaning, as you can see beneath these boxes, right? The kilo means 1,000, the hectare means 100, the deca means 10, right? The base one, all right, just mean one. And the deci, the decimeter or deci means 0.1, centi means 0.01, and millimeter means 0.001. So you can put any base unit in there, right? The base unit of distance is a meter. However, most of the time in science, we tend to work in centimeter or millimeter. So because we can move from one unit to the other, it's important that we learn to convert this. Because you can have a problem that's talking about centimeter, and at one point you may be required to do a conversion. And so those conversions are very, very important. Now, if we replace meter with liter, it is the same thing, right? The same thing. All these prefixes, kilo, hectare, deca, deci, centi, milli, they all mean the same thing, okay? So if you have any question, make sure you follow up with me and I'll be more than happy to help, okay? How to quickly convert within the same measurement, okay? How many kilometers are, how many meters are in 1 kilometer? So where am I? I'm actually right here, right? I have 1 kilometer and I'm trying to get what? I'm trying to get to this box, right? So if I count how many tens, because moving from one box to the next is 10. So 10 plus 10 plus 10 times 10, sorry. So 10 times 10 times 10, that's 1,000. So in 1 kilometer, there are 1,000 meters, okay? Now, how many decimeter do you have in one hectare meter? So I'm right here. I'm trying to see how many decimeter I have in 1 hectare meter. So I'm here, 10 times 10 times 10. So moving to the right, you multiply, okay? 10 times 10 times 10, that's 1,000. So that 1,000 decimeter in 1 hectare meter. How many millimeters do you have in a dam? So I'm right here. I'm here and I want to go here. So I count 10 times 10 times 10 times 10. That's 10,000, right? So that 10,000 millimeter in one dam. And that's how we get it. So just try this one. How many centimeters do you have in a kilometer? You can pause this video and try that, okay? So if you try that, you realize that we are here. We are in a kilometer and we want to go to centimeter. 1, 10 times 10, 100 times 10, 1,000 times 10, 10,000 times 10, 100,000. Okay. The 100,000 centimeter and 1 kilometer. Okay. Dimensional analysis is a mathematical system using conversion factors to move from one unit of measurement to a different unit of measurement. Now, one thing I want you to understand is that when you move from one unit to the other, right, the length or the amount does not change. If you change, let's say 1 kilometer into meter, even though it becomes 1,000 meter, it doesn't mean that the length has changed. They are all the same, but they are just expressed into different units. Okay. Now, when you want to do conversions, there are rules that we need to follow, right? The first one is that write all numbers are fraction. Write everything with its unit. Very, very important. Write everything with its unit. I cannot afford to stress this out. Now, the third one is arrange conversion factors such that the unit cancel, right? Now, the numbers on the top are multiplied, the numbers on the bottom are divided. Your answer should be in the correct number of significant figures. That part, I don't want you to care about that for now. We're not going to focus on significant figures for this class. All right. So take note of, let's do this one. You have 77 kilograms and you want to convert that to grams. The first thing you need Usually it's the conversion factor, right? You write everything as a fraction, and when you do, make sure that the conversion factor, if you remember, 1 kilogram is equal to 1,000 grams. So you arrange everything such that the unit cancels. So consider this to be a fraction. So you write 77 kilogram over 1, right? And then the kilogram goes at the bottom because this is at the top. You want this kilogram to cancel this kilogram, right? And so that is why you put it at the bottom. Because the third rule says arrange everything such that the unit cancel. So if you put this kilogram at the top, it will not cancel with this other one, right? So you have to put it in such a way that they cancel out. And so when kilogram cancels with kilogram, you are only left with grams. Now you multiply all the numbers at the top. 77 times 1,000, that's what gives you 77,000. And you can put that in scientific notation, right? You can put that in scientific notation based on what you've learned. It will be 7.7 times 10 to the 4. Let's do this one. Pause this video. Try. The conversion factor is 1 liter is equal to 1,000 milliliter. So write everything as a fraction, right? And write everything with a unit, and then write everything such that the unit cancel. So because I have milliliter, I want to make sure my milliliter goes at the bottom, right? And you realize that milliliter will cancel milliliter, and I'll be left with liter, right? And so I will have 8.7 times 10 to the 6 liter. Same thing here. Write everything as a fraction, right? And so this is my conversion factor, which is equal to 1. So 1 mole is equal to 1,000 millimoles. So when I have that, I just arrange them such that they cancel, right? And that is what I get. That to fit, same thing. You bring back a conversion factor. 1 yard is equal to 3 feet. And you bring it, you arrange it such that it cancels. So 12 yard will give you 36 feet. So conversion factors usually will be provided to you. They're very important. Okay. And you can see that's a conversion factor for pound, from pounds to grams. So 1 pound is equal to 453.59. Usually we approximate this to 454 grams. And with that conversion factor, you just arrange it in such a way that they cancel out, and your grams will cancel grams. Every number at the top will multiply one another, and they will divide everything at the bottom, multiply it, okay? So 1.5 times 10 to the 5 divided by 453.9. If you don't know how to put this on a calculator, make sure you bring your calculator so I can help you out. So convert 3.24 centimeter to feet. Again, you need a conversion factor from centimeter to feet, and 1 feet is equal to 30.48 centimeter. Right. Once you have that conversion factor, you arrange it in such a way that it cancel out, right, and it gives you that answer in feet. Try this. Pause the video. Try it before you continue. If you try this, you need the relationship between inches to mile, but this can be a multi-step problem, right? Where you take from inches to feet and from feet to miles. Okay, so take it from inches to feet and from feet to miles. So in every feet, there are 12 inches. You do that conversion, you bring it to feet, and you now convert. For every mile, there is 5,280 feet. You can bring that one in, right, and it gives you 8.68 miles, right? Now convert years to minutes. There are so many ways to do this, but again, it will be easier if you take it step by step, right? Make sure you convert from years to days. From days, you take it to hours. From hours, take it to minutes. So It is going to be a three-step problem. You write everything as a fraction, right? You convert the years to days. In every year, there are 365 days, right? And you convert the days to hours. In every day, there are 24 hours, right? And you convert the hours to minutes, whereby in every hour, there are 60 minutes. And you do that. So with this one, at the end of the day, everything at the top multiply one another, right? And everything at the bottom divide, okay? So that gives me 24 minutes. And that is that for dimension, for conversion in one dimension. Let me know if you have any question. We can always follow up with that. Okay.